Hi guys, it is me again, and I'm back with another extract from my upcoming sci-fi thriller novel entitled When Time Stood Still. So you may have watched some of the other videos and listened to the other extracts, so you will know that they are not in chronological order for various reasons. The story is set in various countries around the world, European countries and in the Middle East. It's a combination of real life events, my own crazy imagination, and let's face it, with what's going on around us now, I am not short on material, as you can imagine. So anyway, I'm going to read an extract now called Shamsa, and this part of the novel is based in Turkey, in Istanbul. So I will start. Make yourselves comfortable, maybe lie down and close your eyes. Perhaps it could be your bedtime story tonight. I sat down with a thud. I stared into her eyes as she evenly held my gaze. Every time a thought popped into my head, she would nod as if to confirm the truth of my thoughts. It was very annoying, to be honest. I sighed and put up my hands as if to surrender. Okay, so you are one of them, like Xanthias, another messenger. There was no point fighting this, and in any case, where was this resistance coming from? Fear of the unknown? Fear that my path had already been chosen for me, and not by me? As Xanthias himself had pointed out, with change comes resistance. Was this it? My real role in life? The one thing I'd unconsciously been waiting for my entire existence? While a part of me would wholeheartedly agree to dedicating my life to something far greater and more powerful than humanity, the other side, that critical, analytical, devil on my shoulder, was still there, yabbering away, throwing doubt upon everything that was presented to me before my very eyes. Fortunately, Ronnie appeared with the drinks before any more mind-bending truths could be revealed. His eyes lit up visibly when he saw the attractive blonde at the table. I was tickled to see a different side to Ronnie in that moment. A shyness crept over him as he held out his hand, also conveniently forgetting his fears over the virus. Good afternoon. Nice to meet you. I'm Ronnie. He actually blushed as he said it. Typical man, I thought to myself. So easy to wrap them round your little finger. She smiled and stood up to shake his hand. My name is Shamsa. Shamsa, the sun in brilliance and radiance, I heard myself say. Why did I just say that? Where on earth did that come from? I'd never even heard that name in my life. Oh, of course, they were speaking through me again. She smiled knowingly in response. Indeed, it is. Ronnie seemed oblivious to the bizarre scene before him. My head was going round in circles. What if I'm not ready for this? What if I'm possessed, or actually I have some kind of psychiatric disturbance? You are fine. There is nothing wrong with you, Sky. This resistance is normal. It happens to most people in the beginning. It is not always easy for the humans, this transition, this preparation for ascension. But you are much stronger than you realize. Tap into that strength, that power, and use it to your advantage. Ronnie looked at us both, wide-eyed. His gaze went from one to the other, looking more puzzled by the second. He scratched his head in confusion. So you guys know each other? Have you lied to me, Sky, and you're actually like MI6 or something? That would make sense. The three of us here, my military background. He was formulating a whole new story for himself, which in comparison to what was actually happening, seemed far more plausible for once. No, Ronnie, I'm not working for any government or underground organisation. Not that I know of, anyway. She's just like a celestial being or something, a cosmic messenger. They suddenly keep popping up and guiding me, helping to clarify my doubts and fears, and protect those of us that are part of this huge cosmic shift. Basically, that's it in a nutshell. I was poker-faced as I shared this important life-shattering news. I took a sip of the orange juice he'd brought over and sat back in my chair and watched his response. Ronnie mirrored my body language, sitting back and stroking his tiny beard. We sat in introspective silence for a few more moments. This guy was definitely gaining my respect more and more by the second. Nothing seemed to faze him. He finally spoke. Well, yeah, I guess it makes sense. Nana, God rest her soul, she always talked like that. She always said something like this awaited me, like I was one of these chosen ones. She always said I was special, but I thought she meant, like because I was her grandson. Even when I was a naughty little fucker, he abruptly stopped. Oh, sorry, but that's offensive language, he said to Shamsa. Cheeky bugger, he didn't apologise to me, not that I cared. I swore like a trooper. In fact, I'm sure I could make him blush any time. Perhaps he was apologising because of the God connection. I laughed out loud at that one. Ronnie frowned and turned back towards Shamsa. She was a bit of a Bible basher, no offence, and it used to really annoy me at times, but there were things, that resonated within me, that felt like it was truth, especially revelation. In fact, I've got something tattooed on my back. He stood up and raised his t-shirt. His entire back was tattooed with a particularly striking angelic figure, and underneath was written Rev 812. Then the fourth angel sounded his trumpet, and a third of the sun was struck, a third of the moon, and a third of the stars, so that a third of them were darkened, a third of the day was without light, and a third of the night. Wow, impressive. That really is a piece of art. I express my admiration. I also had my own fair share of body art. Yet, funny thing is, I never really understood myself why that image or that particular part of the Bible. It was just like I was led to it. Shamsa smiled and took out an envelope from her bag. Open it, Sky, and show it to Ronnie. Oh no, I instinctively knew what would be on it. I opened it and drew out the handwritten note. The script was elegant and graceful, and seemed to have been written with one of those old-fashioned ink pens. Sky, beware. Rev 812, and then the fourth angel sounded his trumpet, and a third of the sun was struck, a third of the moon, a third of the stars, so a third of them were darkened, a third of the day was without light, and a third of the night. Take heed. Rev 85. Then the angel took the censer, filled it with fire from the altar, and hurled it to the earth. And there were peals of thunder and rumblings and flashes of lightning, and an earthquake. 8:6. And the seven angels with the seven trumpets prepared to sound them. 8:7. Then the first angel sounded his trumpet, and hail and fire mixed with blood were flung to the earth. A third of the earth was burned up, along with a third of the trees and all the green grass. Then the second angel sounded his trumpet, and something like a great mountain burning with fire was thrown into the sea. A third of the sea turned to blood. Remember, Sky, keep a watchful eye on CERN, look to the heavens, and listen to Mother Earth. Keep your friends close and your enemies closer, as they say here on Earth. Make your way to London to the address you were given. It will be the first of your temporary safe houses. I read it out loud and handed it to Ronnie, who had turned visibly pale under his dark skin. His hand shook slightly as he read the note for himself. Jesus Christ, he exclaimed, then crossed himself. Sorry to blaspheme. Shamsa smiled gently and shook her head. You don't need to apologise to me. I understand you are shocked and confused. This is more than most humans could tolerate. However, There is something you need to understand. Your concept of God is flawed. I come from source, as do you. You are not just human. It's too much to explain now, but there are many of you becoming more and more conscious every moment, understanding what is happening. Your human leaders are not telling you the truth. Some because they genuinely do not know the truth, but others have a much darker agenda, and you are amongst the chosen to enlighten as many of you as you can and take them with you to the other side. She paused for a moment. I watched poor Ronnie, who looked as if his eyes were about to pop out his head. She continued, "We are here amongst you, and we only reveal ourselves in a physical form to those who are ready, and who will carry out the tasks we give you in order to save the enlightened ones down here. We have always been amongst you in some form or another. That does not really matter right now, but these are, as your human Bible tells you, the end times. The end of life as you knew it, but not the end of Mother Earth. Everything is, as Xanthias said, written in the soul of the world." Ronnie stood up. "I need a bloody whiskey. Ladies?" I nodded. "Please make it a double," I smiled weakly. I turned to Shamsa. "So Ronnie, is he part of this with Effie and I?" "Yes, he has his own role. But right now, part of that is to accompany you and Effie and help protect you both. This country is not safe now, especially for 2 European females alone. Something bad has happened and Turkey will fight back, but you British especially will not be very popular at the moment. It is crucial to leave as soon as you can." Bit of interference there. "They will try to stop you. They will try to hinder your departure with excuses about the virus, but do not, at any cost, let them try and persuade you, even if they try to frighten you. Remember too the fire. There will be a fire. There will be many, but the first will affect you. You must make your way to London, and there will be someone awaiting you, and they will teach you many things, especially about the Federation. And then, Sky, you will begin to remember everything about who you really are and where you came from. Peace be with you." She stood up just as Ronnie returned with the whiskey. He stood there awkwardly, unsure as to whether to sit or stand. "Goodbye, Ronnie. Goodbye, Sky. Remember, I cannot say this enough. Remember your inner strength, your inner power. They can only weaken you with fear, nothing else. They are threatened by your strength and courage and fearlessness. Fear is the only thing that can destroy you. Stay together, the 3 of you, and as long as you keep to the instructions, you will be safe." She smiled one last time and walked away. I looked towards the barman, and strangely enough, he did not even glance in her direction, as if he could not see her. Ronnie sat down and downed the whiskey in one. He didn't see her, the barman I mean, did he? I took a slug of the whiskey and almost gagged. No, he didn't. It was just you and me, Ronnie. Just you and me. Welcome to my world. Okay guys, that was a longer extract today. I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you were sufficiently intrigued to want to know more. Watch this space. Thanks a lot, and hasta luego.